Hey, we're in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts and starting off a Germany 1920 campaign. In the last episode, we had a look at the auto-generated fleet that we're starting with. Not going to go through all the details again now. Just suffice to say that we got handed a bag of worms here as we take over the Imperial German Navy. Some of our ships are undergunned or under-armored. Others are undergunned. All 5 of these ship classes have severe stability issues. Excessive pitch and roll, weight offset, which means that gunnery accuracy with these original ships is going to be pretty awful until we get some replacements. We also looked over the finance strategy, as I've typically done in other campaigns, maxed out the crew training, maxing out the transport capacity. This time around, there were a couple of useful looking techs which are very close. The top electro-hydraulic steering and super heavy shells, that both of which were just 2 months away at 100% tech investment. And what I found off camera is that I was able to slide all the way down to 76% tech budget and still keep those 2 developments at 2 months. So not losing anything on those. Meanwhile, our monthly deficit was cut almost in half. So this initial little tech burst at the beginning of the campaign won't bankrupt us. At least. And so once we get those 2 techs, we'll be able to slide down to the long-term strategy of zero tech investment. And we'll also have those 2 techs available. And that's the point at which we will make some new designs and start trying to do something about this frankly awful set of ships that we have. In the meantime, though, the war has begun, and we'll just have to see what comes our way here in February. Well, at least the first couple of transport losses are British, not ours. Can't gripe about that. And there is a convoy encounter over here in the Baltic, which probably means we're defending. Nope. We are attacking a British convoy over in the Baltic. Don't know why they have a convoy in the Baltic, but they do. Defended only by destroyers, quite a few of them, but we've got 2 heavies and 2 light cruisers. And there's only 3 transports. I bet there's going to be a whole lot of torpedoes in the water, though. At the very least, we'll be able to get a look at these British destroyers and see how they are designed. Get some intel that way. So, let's see what happens here. Oh goodness, they're starting us close. I don't see any destroyers yet. Oh, we're pickling off torpedoes. Unnecessarily. Well, if nothing else, at least these ships are capable of adequately beating up transports. There's one gone. Oh, we only had to kill half, which means 2 out of 3. There's obviously no reason not to kill the third one. Okay, there's some incoming fire. There's some destroyers right over here somewhere that have us spotted. Which could very easily mean that there's already British torpedoes in the water as well. There's a kind of a superfluous torpedo hit on the Gladiator. Yeah, smoke to the northwest. They're over here somewhere. And RDF is pointing right down this direction. No, over here. They're right over in here someplace. Don't particularly want to get much closer. We don't know the specifics, but all destroyers are required to have at least some torpedoes. Where's our other cruiser? Where's our other light cruiser? Okay, over here. There. I left him in screening mode. Which is like, you know... Here, just steam independently. Just keep out of trouble. Go this way. Night conditions, cloudy. We're not going to spot them very close, and frankly, I don't know if I want to deal with 7 torpedoes worth of torpedo spreads coming at me. I think we're just going to take this little minor convoy sinking. You know, extremely minor, but it will count as a win. We haven't been damaged. No repair costs. Yeah. And we still get a little bit of intel. However, realistically or not, Llewellyn class destroyer. What is that? 1860? You can see on that they're actually 1859 of actual weight within a nominal kind of published 1860 ton displacement. That 1860 is what counts for, I think, is what actually counts for, you know, blockade, power projection, all that kind of stuff. Top speed 29. Which, compared to our own fleet, is fast enough, I think. No armor on these things. None. Of course, they're cadets now. Everything's cadets at the beginning. Max bulkheads. And we're looking there. They've got a little smattering of 4 and 3 inch guns. It's probably pretty reasonable for a DD. It's a dual turret on the 3 incher. And 2 quad deck torpedo tubes. Of course, we don't know whether they're, you know, what their reloads are and whether they're fast. We don't know any of that stuff. We know they got 2 quads. Just kind of looking at that, I would suspect they're probably centerline mounted, and there's only 2. Vice, our destroyer has more. I would suspect that this destroyer is probably not quite as stability challenged as ours is. Alright, that's what we know about the Llewellyn. And somehow we still take a little bit of light damage on the Orion. Which kind of sounds like a British ship name, not a German one, but okay. I've noticed that the light cruiser named Niobe kind of appears in both navies as well. So she'll take a... Yeah, Orion will take 1 month of repair. That won't last very long. She'll be back in the fleet next month. And she went back in for repairs at Emden. That's good too. Won't have to move her. Did anything go back? Yep. This light cruiser did pop back to Palau in the Baltic. Move them over to Emden. There we go. Okay. There is one little bit of disparity. I'm not sure it's really showing up, but ships can be either in being or in sea control. When they're moving, they're still eligible. They can still find themselves in a battle. Okay, they're not ineligible for that, but it appears, my interpretation is that when they're moving from port to port like this, they are neither in being or in sea control. They're just moving. And if you look in the fleet, it's reflecting that is still costing 1.3 million per month, as opposed to, say, Deutschland in being 963,000 per month. So in the fleet tab, it looks like it's more expensive than in being, but it is less expensive than sea control, somewhere in the middle. However, if you look at the overall fleet maintenance numbers, it kind of looks like this 1.3 million may not be counted. I've noticed that if I have several ships all moving at once back to the desired home ports, that the monthly balance increases a good bit. I'm not sure this is being counted. I'm not sure it's not, but one way to save a little money short term over a month is to just move some ships around. So there may be kind of a little bug involved in that. Okay, we should just be 1 month away from our tech advancements. On to March. Yep, there's electro-hydraulic steering too, which gives us a pretty, it's not the best possible turn rate in rudder shift. That comes from electric designs. But the electric designs they draw so much electrical power that they kind of affect your damage control. Whereas the electro-hydraulics do not. So I like the electro-hydraulic 1 and 2 for that reason. And we also got super heavy shells, which hit reload, hit flash fire. They come with these accuracy debuffs, but kind of as we talked about before, the shell gives an accuracy debuff or nerf. But because the turret, the gun itself, is firing a heavier shell longer range, there is an undefined accuracy buff to that, which will actually overcome these. And the heavier shells, despite the tooltips, are more accurate, not less accurate. And vice versa for the light shells. And we did lose a transport here in March. Another convoy battle. This one is over close to the English coast. Are we attacking or defending? We are again attacking. We have a heavy and a light against 7 transports defended by 2 lights, who are in the reinforcement status, which means they're some distance away. So we may be able to tear up these transports before these light cruisers really show up. And they're already in sight. And our light cruiser is in follow behind the heavy, which is fine. may need those torpedoes. Oh my goodness. They're not armored cruisers anymore. They're actually heavy cruisers. This hull in 1920. Our heavy cruisers are pretty undergunned. At 7-inch main armament. However, they're perfectly fine for tearing up merchants. And they should be okay against light cruisers too. Oops. Inadvertently took the light cruiser out and followed. We can drop the cruise speed, I think. Lord. Goodness knows our ships need all the accuracy help they can get. Their terrible stability. Earlier I said 7-inch. Our main armament on the heavy cruiser is actually 6-inch. I was looking at the light cruiser. The light cruiser actually has heavier guns than the heavy cruiser does. Thanks, Autogen. Silver lining there, though, isn't it? That's a ton of 6-inch ammo she's got. Running out of ammo is hopefully unlikely. Alright, let's finish off the old Jed. British light cruisers have yet to appear. Are we getting an RDF cruiser? Yeah. Undecided. Okay, that's probably... Here's the light cruisers over here, most likely. AI really likes to heavy up on torpedoes. It's certainly a good assumption that the Brit CLs are amply supplied in that regard. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's put the mains, the 6s and 7s on the enemy light cruisers. And we'll target secondaries on the transporters. Is that a cruiser? It is. The British apparently have the modern cruiser hull available as well. You don't always get that in 1920. Range 6.8. Probably well within torpedo release range. Just about to be identified. Identified now. They have not fired torpedoes yet. They got a lot of them though. Look at that. 32, 24. Almost 60 torpedoes. They have not fired yet. This one has not been identified yet. almost done with the Yarmouth is almost done. Almost done with our transports. What is top speed? Okay, Arcona is making 22.9. Top speed on Orion. It's 24. Top speed on, our lights are slower than our heavies. Kind of makes sense with the armament difference, I guess. Here, go, stay up at speed. There is still, no, that's sinking too. I think we've gotten all the transports. This hasn't caught up yet. Meanwhile, their light cruisers are 34 knots. We're not going to run away from these guys. They're fairly lightly armed, 5-inch mains. Vindictive and Coventry. Well, let's focus fire Vindictive as best we can. Very low armor. We'll stay in auto. Okay, 6.1 kilometers on her torps. I think that means that they may be fast. Yeah, fast torps in this era. 19-inch. Standard ammo. I think the thing to do is basically maintain some distance here. Got bigger guns. These appear to be fired at Arcona. Who I had inadvertently taken out a follow again and is heading off this way, which isn't terrible. I think she can come right and probably be okay with those. I hope. I think she'll clear this. No, steady up. I think I messed this up. No, you're not going to be able to comb them. Keep going. It'll clear. It'll clear. Meanwhile, Vindictive's still reloading. Let's open the range a little bit here. Vindictive is taking a bit of a beating. It's kind of going our way here. Off a few, well, nope. Hard left. pretty big spread that I think Orion will be able to avoid. Her own spread, you know, Vindictive is also turning. Our own spread is not going to be anywhere close. We've only got 4 left. We've got 1 reload left for one of our launchers. The other launcher, which had fired at the beginning of the battle, a transport, is already out of ammo. She'll avoid those 2. Let's make sure we don't inadvertently blunder Arcona into that spread. Oh, and here's a present from the Coventry. Eee, that's getting a little speed up. If you're going to beat them at all, you're going to beat them with speed. Oh, this might be bad. I don't see a way she can turn to avoid. Her best shot is to just keep going forward. And that's not going to be enough. Orion's about to take some torpedoes. Three hits. Well, turn now to miss these if you can. Oh my gosh. Oh. Ah! Arcona is done. Oh my god. Not very good. Okay, first warship losses of the campaign are German, not British. We've lost 2 cruisers. 3,100 victory points to the Royal Navy. And clearly a defeat. I guess the only silver lining here is we didn't like these ships anyway. We're eventually going to be replaced. And we don't have to spend any more budget on them, although we did lose their manpower. 2,400 sailors gone. And it's incredible. That's bad news. Okay, well, and you can see there my my naval prestige took a hit from those ship losses, and I don't think let's see here, our transport capacity has gone up by a couple percentage points, which means that the annual revenue has come up, which can only mean that this, you know, we started at 0. This little bit of unrest we've gotten is directly result of ship sinkings, not from any economic impact. So it drives unrest as well. Nothing for it, but to, oh no, we got our, okay, so we got our techs. I'm going to drive tech budget to 0. That gets us some money in order to build some new ships. And that is something that we'll do in the next episode. Thanks for watching.